Okay, people. So now it's January 19th, 2018. Sorry, 2019. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to speak for a few minutes, right? And kind of give you a little bit of an update on what's going on with the nonprofit, because I was back at the little house, right? I was doing some stuff out there, finishing up. I was finishing up with the metal and, and just following up with... Just following up with what I've been working on, people. So anyway, oh my lord, this is just not a good thing, is it? There's a loose connection. What a waste of time. Right? Don't breathe! Don't breathe! Don't move! Don't ring the doorbell! Anyway, eating some yogurt. Okay, to get to the point and not waste people's valuable time here. So, little house is at the end now, pretty much. Only thing is, when we were out there, right, there was 4 of us that were out there working, right? Dad, the guy with the big machine, and Twinder, the owner of the property, right? And myself. We were out there for... I pretty much spent half a day out there, right? He called me to come get the metal. I put the metal out in the road for whoever wanted it, right? Because, it is what it is. And then I just helped tidy up, some of the garbage and whatnot. Just chipped in, right? So as we're out there, nobody's saying anything. Everybody's just working, And like the guy in the big machine, he goes, you're kind of like family now. And I said, yeah, I know. It kind of feels like that, doesn't it? Because we're all out there just working people, right? Nobody's saying anything. Everybody's just doing what needs to be done, and we're helping each other or whatever, right? We're all independent thinkers trying to get the job done. And I said, yeah, I've Twinder and Dad, and, we've been doing this for a year now. Like, it's been a year from the time I got the house to the time I was out there. A whole year had passed, right? So when you're involved with somebody like that and that situation, and and you're still at the very end of it, and you're working together as a team, and you got through it, right? And it was, Twinder was a very brave man and very nice man and a funny man in many ways. He's very funny, right? Very patient man, and he put up with a lot of crap, people, and but through it all, he stayed true to what he could do, right? In terms of what we were doing, what I was doing. And for that, I'm very grateful that he gave me that opportunity. And through that year, that duration of a year, by the time the 4 of us were out there finishing up what we knew was going to happen a year prior, nobody was saying anything. Everybody was just working. I think we all kind of came to the feel, because just as that man said, it's kind of like you feel like your family now, right? Your family, eh? He's like cracking a joke at me, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it kind of feels like that, doesn't it? And then Twinder pipes up, yeah, family. With Dad running around. His thumbs up, right? So I felt connected there for a few moments. Well, more than a few moments, right? It was nice to have that feeling, right? So I just want to put that out there. Don't move. Camera will start flickering. Now, the other thing I want to talk about before I upload this, because I'm saying this and then I'm going to put what we did at the house, right? And then, as far as I know, that's it for going over to the house, but you never know, right? We're family now, so they might call me up for something. And plus, I'm still, looking to get into house number 2. So the family will just get bigger. That's what will happen, people. As soon as I get into house number 2, the family will just get bigger. But I, right now, having just to, tidy up on some other things that's going on in my life. I still have to do the books, which I'm still rearranging, right? Starting to organize the paperwork and whatnot, right? And so anyway, in regards to the nonprofit, because that's kind of what I'm talking about here when it relates to the little house, I spoke to the board director, asking him specifically what it was that, he was wanting to work on in regards to immigration, because I thought it had something to do with immigration, because he's a lawyer now, right? He went to school to be a lawyer. And he does do stuff with immigration, but that's not what he was approaching me on. It was something to do with declarations for poor people. In other words, if a poor person goes see a lawyer and, there's declaration or something that needs to be done, that person has to pay everybody, right? Poor or not. And he's specifically making reference to homeless people, because I just ran into him. I said, well, where's this paper you want me to sign? Because I'm the president, people, right? At this point, I'm the president, so when certain things need to be signed, it has to be signed by me. And I'm like, well, where's this paper you want me to sign? Because I'm working on my own little immigration project in terms of the families and whatnot that are up by the Mexican border along California into Tijuana. I'd like to still try and bring one family, just one. Start with one, because we have to build in sustainable immigration. What's going on the border of Mexico and the United States is not sustainable. Nothing sustainable about it. So, but, I do work on a nonprofit and blah, blah, blah. So, being that one of the board directors is an immigration lawyer, to what degree I'm not sure, but that's what he went to school for. And being that I do know several families that come from that area in terms of Honduras and El Salvador and Nicaragua and all those places, quite a few families actually, a handful anyway, I'm going to now try and get in and start networking with the various organizations, which I would assume more than likely church, right? Of some kind, to build in that safety net and that sponsorship to have that one family come to Canada, right? So that's what I'm working on. But I'm only working on it as like one family. Where I was taught that he was going to open up the floodgates through his immigration stuff, right? And I'm like, okay, well, you let me work on the house, and if you're not doing anything illegal, then, I can't tell you can't work on what you want to work on, right? So I thought that maybe there might be a conflict of interest in there, but as it turns out, he's not even touching anything to do with immigration. He's offered to help me to work on what I'm working on in terms of giving me the literature, right, in regards to the process as to how to sponsor a family to come to Canada. And at this point, what I do know is it takes 5 organizations, not 5 individuals, but 5 organizations that have to agree to sign on to sponsor that one family. Now, I don't think that will be too difficult to do once I get to those organizations, right? I really don't. I like to think that the first 3 will probably be very easy. The next 2, in terms of, because I don't know anybody and I don't know where to go looking or who to ask, it might take a little longer. But then it might happen all within a month. Who knows, right? The point is that's where I'm going with it. And he's going to help me to understand the process, because he has access to that literature, right? Because he's gone to school for it. As I am going to help him by supporting his endeavors in regards to helping street people, homeless people, and other low-income individuals, because I would suspect it's not just homeless people or street people. But he was kind of like specific on that, right? And I'm like, well, like, how does the foundation make money? Right? Like if you're who's doing all this work? He goes, well, I am. And I'm like, well, are you getting paid for it? He goes, no. And I'm like, well, like, why not? Right? He doesn't need to get paid, people. He's just living his life and giving back to the community. And this is the man that will end up helping me to bring in more sustainable housing at some point, right? In terms of when I write that $300,000 fundraiser, he'll take it to the larger community and we'll fundraise. But obviously, you know that I'm just so far behind on everything. And I already told him, I said, look, you need to find a secretary treasurer. Like, start looking around for a secretary treasurer, because with my eyes going on me and just everything else that goes on, it's just, I don't want to hold back the nonprofit. I really don't. But in the meantime, I just wanted to point out that I am the one that's working on an immigration program with one family. I know what to go looking for. I don't think it's going to be very hard to find it and to start, connecting the dots. And it would be nice if we could have one family come to Canada. Obviously, I'll meet them at the airport with the camera because I'm going to be Mama Lynn, right? That's just the way it is. That's the way that's going to roll, right? And in the meantime, I've started to pack up a small box of craft material that I'm going to send out to the Tijuana area and have it given to the children that are out there living in tents with their lives in limbo. Just as a care package. It's just a care package. It's nothing. I'm actually debating whether I should try and find a way to send cash and let them buy those craft materials in Mexico versus sending a box over and spending $100 in stamps. Because if I mailed it from the United States, it would be cheaper. But because I live in Canada, it inflates 400%. So, but I can't really cross over the border just to go mail a package. But it supports the postal system. And of course, I like to use stamps. So there's going to be stamps on those packages so those children can collect those stamps. Right? Canadian stamps, that is. So I am working on that. I've got the box started. And then I'm going to start bagging up the nuts. 3 packages, 1 to Brazil of walnuts and that type of thing. 1 to Missouri of walnuts and that type of thing. And up to Kitimat walnuts and that type of thing. And these are walnuts to plant trees with, people. Okay, these are organic, natural, tree-producing walnuts. English walnut, 2 different varieties, and black walnut. I'm a little concerned about the black walnut because the nuts are very small, because they cut the trees too soon. They should have left them up there for at least 1 more month, and if they would have done that, they would have been fully mature. But I have had walnuts in my yard where they've been really, really small, and somehow, some way, they got tossed off to the side, and then I come along, and I'm like, well, what is that? And it's a little walnut tree growing, and by the time I get it out of the ground, the little nut is like that. So there is a high probability that out of a handful of nuts, some will grow. So we're going to have trees growing in Brazil, Missouri, and in the northern part of British Columbia, Canada, to repopulate the species so that it doesn't become extinct. Right? And I'm going to be bagging them up this week and getting them ready for the mail, because I'm putting all 3 out in the mail at one time. And then the craft box will probably continue to be just kind of put together over the course of the next month as I go out into the community through the various families that I know and try and find 5 organizations to sponsor 1 family from Mexico in the Tijuana area that's in those camps. Right? as the other board director is bringing in a homegrown initiative where it actually helps the poorest of the poor in the community with legal costs. A declaration, that's a legal fee, right? And then from there, hopefully by that time, I'll be caught up with my paperwork to some degree, and I'll have that $300,000 fundraiser written and then handed over to the board director, and then he takes it out to the community. And then once we get that first $300,000 in the bank, people, that's when we're going to start seeing housing initiatives coming in, right? In terms of house one, we've done it. House two, family. We ended up getting a family out of that house, right? And then we'll go into house 2, 3, and whatever, and then we'll home ownerships and, giving the homeowners, repair grants and stuff. Like, we can instead of doing 300, well, we could still do 300,000, and 200,000 goes to the homeowners and 100,000 goes into the actual community to help house people that are displaced, right? I don't like to necessarily say homelessness because it's a stigmatization, but displaced definitely. And then through my efforts with the immigration aspect of it, I support sustainable immigration, right? It has to be sustainable, and this is where the United States is having a problem right now. It's not sustainable. And, even Canada has surpassed that sustainable part. So before we go too deep into it and can't get out, we need to just really focus on bringing in sustainability within our own communities, whether it's the locals that were born into this country or the immigrants that are coming into this country. It's such a mixed up issue all the way around. There's just so many emotions connected to it, right? So in the meantime, that's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to put this first, and then what happened last at the little house as the family was coming together. Okay, people. So now it's January 15th, 2019. We're still at the little house. That's what it looks like now, people. I'm here just gathering up the metal, putting it on the road. Good old George, I don't know, he gave me his number, but I kind of misplaced it. So hopefully he'll drive by and see the stuff on the road and pick it up. Either or, somebody's going to get themselves a little stash of metal there. Courtesy of Twinder and the foundation I work on. Right? You can see it's all up in there. There's another big sheet. This guy here, he's still looking for copper for me. He's digging it out and he's saying, I found some copper. So this is what we're doing. So I'll be back, people. Hold on. Andre should be here watching this. Hey? Yeah. Boing! Boing! This guy likes his job. I asked him when I first met him. He goes, oh, I've been doing it a long time. I think what he's trying to do is bust up that pole there. That's what it is. Pretty good at what he does. He was picking up wire for me, people. Wire. With those big tooth things. He was picking up a little string of wire. Like, that's how good he can get with it. Some stairs. Alright. Oh my. Alright. We're just doing insulation right now. Dad's out here helping. Yeah. Hey? Yeah. This is how he stays healthy, man. For an old man, he's like the Hulk. He's very strong. He's whipping around hammers and laughing. And there's his son right there. That's Twinder. Yeah. Twinder and I are like buds now. Yeah, it's been a year. Actually, it's been a year. And look at that. Metal dude already coming, checking out the metal. Oh, he's driving off. He's looking for copper. Anyway, okay, so I'm raking some grass here. I'm just helping him out, right? A little bit. I still have to do the books on it. And our board director is putting together a fundraiser. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing something. We're gonna find out. Gurdev Jammu, Jammu, right? He's gonna be putting together something, and it'll be coming out into the community. Yeah, you watch and see. Dad will be the first one in line saying, yeah, let's go. Dad will say, let's go. Getting me some copper here, people. This is how he does it. Oh, there you got it. That's it. Okay. Well, there's some rock and roll for you, people. Just a little jiggle here and a little jiggle there. Everything's being done in increments, right? Look at that thing just jiggle. Yeah, it's still at it. He'll work till dark. Yeah, it's been a whole year, people. Imagine that. Huh? Pretty cool stuff. Okay, people. So I'm going home now. Got a little bit here. Alright, finish up. So that's it. So, been doing this for a year now, people. This time last year, right? Got the house on the 17th. Still working on the books, right? Still gonna go into house 2 at some point in the future. Just not right now. I gotta take care of some other things. There's Dad. Say bye, Dad. Oh, yeah. He's a very strong man. Yeah, bye-bye. All right, people. Bye-bye. So, we're just going to leave that out there for the metal recycle dudes, right? So, all right. That's it.